More than 2 years ago, I decided it's time to land my first software development position. I created my resume to the best of my knowledge, went to the job listing sites and started applying for jobs. LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Dice, you name it. I was all over the internet sending my resume and applying for jobs. I was thinking that I'm ready to land the job, and if my resume is not good enough, I'm at least going to get some feedback and improve based on that. And what happened next is a few weeks passed by and no one got back to me. I was surprised. How is it that I send more than 100 job applications and no one is getting back to me? What's wrong with my resume? Am I not good enough to land a job or even get a response? What's going on here, and how is it that I see other people around me who land job interviews and I can't? Little did I know that now I'm a part of deep, dark and unknown game that might crush my dreams of becoming a software developer and cause me to quit. Welcome, my friend, to the junior developer job hunting trap. And if your situation is somewhat the same, join me in this video to explore the truth about the job hunting process and how I got out of it by eventually landing my first software development position, and how you can do the same by following some of the tactics I'm about to share with you. Enjoy! So why is it hard to land a job as a software developer? Let's see what happens behind the scenes when we apply for jobs. So companies decide they need to hire someone to solve their business problems. They want to get the best talents, so they are going to make sure they are getting as much exposure as possible. They will post their jobs everywhere: LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Facebook, Indeed, and wherever else they can find. By the time you see the job post, there is a strong chance tens, if not hundreds of applicants have already applied, both internally and externally. Recruiters are getting flooded with new applicants and their inbox is filled with more and more applications. Now imagine if you open your phone right now and you see more than 100 messages in your inbox. Will you read all of them, let alone reply to them? To how many can you actually read and reply? 10, 20, maybe 30? And the other thing is, no one is teaching us how to land a job. We are pretty much clueless because developing software and landing a job demand different sets of skills. When developing software, most of the time we use our problem-solving skills, the ability to search things on Google, using technology tools we have at our disposal, and figuring out a problem. When landing a job though, we need to do different things. The ability to market ourselves so people actually know who we are. Positioning ourselves in a way that we look like the nearest best option they have. Communicating our ideas out loud during an interview while still creating good rapport so they like us. Then negotiating our terms because otherwise we can get f***ed. Long story short, no one is teaching us all these valuable life lessons: marketing, positioning, communication, and negotiation that are so vital to land a job. And at the end of the day, you are facing a competitive and saturated market without having the right tools to get out of this situation. So after I hyped you up with all these visuals and cool stuff, now it's time for the boring training, and obviously you're not going to learn all of these skills in this video, but now let me share with you some of the things I did to overcome these problems. And by the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure you click the like button down below. It really helps the channel grow and I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's continue. So the first thing I was thinking about is, okay, I've sent 100 plus applications, but no one is getting back to me. So my first question was, do they even read my resume? Because if they don't even read my resume, it doesn't matter how good my resume is. I can give them the Elon Musk resume, the Bill Gates resume, and they will never get back to me. So the first thing I've done is to make sure that people actually read my resume. Now, before I dive deep into actually how I've done that, I want to first of all talk about making the resume as best as possible. Because even if people read my resume and it's not in the best shape or form, they will not get back to me as well. So the first thing I did is I went to this Facebook group and I posted my resume. Let me tell you, it wasn't fun because people roast your resume. It's never fun when people give you feedback, at least in the beginning. Now I really like feedback and it's really awesome. But you feel exposed because, okay, this is my work and people now can judge me and it doesn't feel comfortable. So I posted it on a Facebook group and some people gave me some advice. Some dude told me, okay, you need to make it 1 page. Your resume is 2 pages and it's not good. And my first reaction for this was, I'm not really sure if this advice is really good. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I know better. I'm not going to make 1-page resume. And you know, to some extent it was true because you don't really know always if the advice you get is actually good or not. And also I didn't have much experience back then to really know if it's true or not. So to actually make sure I get the best feedback out there, don't just rely on one source of feedback. Go to Facebook groups, go to Discord groups, go to Reddit, the subreddit CS career questions, engineering resume, and by the way, I'm going to put links down below to all the sources you can use. You can also submit your resume down below, the same as we did in the previous video. I looked at some resumes, gave some advice. So if you want to know more information about it, keep watching this video. And to make sure the feedback you get is actually the feedback you need right now, is find people that were in the similar situation to what you were, okay? So as similar as possible. If they are in the same country as you, if they have the same skills, they got the same position you want, same education, things like that, as similar as possible, because this thing will help you as best as possible. So as I said, to some extent it is true that the advice I get might not be the best. So to actually make sure this is the best advice for me, I just open up a doc file. I write down all the feedback I get from all the people. Later I take a look at the doc and I see, okay, what are the things that are people saying over and over again? Once I spot them, I fix them. Once I see that a lot of people say the same things about my resume, maybe it's a sign that I'm not doing a good job. Now after I got some feedback about my resume, I did some other things. So I've seen a lot of people who say to customize my resume. But back then I was thinking, how can I customize my resume? I don't have a lot of skills, a lot of projects, a lot of experience. I don't have a lot of things to talk about in the first place. So I have this one small resume. I got everything I can write it in there, and that's it. I can't really do much of it. But it wasn't actually true because, you know, when you go to the job listing, companies are writing the requirements. They write exactly what they want and what they need. They write it even in order, okay? So if in the top of the job listing you see a few things, it means that they value them the most. So let me give you an example. If, for example, the first point or one of the first things they mention in their job listing is education, and if it's, for example, a new grad position, you go to your resume and it would make so much sense to put your education at the top because this is the thing they highlight most. On the other hand, if, for example, they say they want some skills here, they want JavaScript, they want REST APIs, they want you to be a team player, and then they want you to have also education. Then it would make sense to make your resume first talk about skills, then projects, then experience, then maybe throw your education so they know what you are about. And this is a general example. Now if we go even more specific, your points in the projects and the experience, you can prioritize based on what they want. So if they say in the 4th point they want a team player, it means they care about it, so mention it in the resume but they don't care about it the most. They care about maybe skills and maybe JavaScript. So maybe the first point in your project, talk about your JavaScript skills and what you've done with JavaScript. And then maybe in the 3rd point, talk about that you did it with a group of people. Okay, because there is no way in the world that I would send my resume to all these companies and it will be exactly what they want, because every company have different needs, different problems, and different pains. And to actually make sure my document, the document I send them, fulfill or make them understand that I can solve these pains and problems and needs, I need to actually listen. I need to actually listen to what they say, because if I don't listen to what they say, they are not going to read what I have to say. It's pretty simple. Now, if I'm gonna do this approach, it will take me so much time. It will take me like 30 minutes to an hour to customize my resume, and I won't be able to send a lot of job applications. So what can I do with it? All the research, all the pains, all the things, all the customizations, it will take me so much time. So I was thinking, okay, up until now, I've tried the numbers game. I've tried to send 100+ job applications, nothing happened for me. So what if I try different approach? So my new goal was to apply 5 to 10 job applications, but to make sure they are quality. If I send 5 to 10 job applications that are quality, I'm making sure that I listen to them, I increase my odds. Now obviously we want to make sure that we invest our time in the best way possible and we don't just waste it for nothing. But we don't live in a perfect world, and even though you will customize your resume, not 100% of people are going to get back to you. So my goal back then was to aim for around 30 to 40% of response rate, maybe even 20%. So if I can get around 30 to 40% of response rate, I know that my time is well invested and I will keep doing the same things, applying with quality and only applying 5 to 10, but making sure that I customize my resume. Now back to the first point of making people actually read your resume. If we take the resume that we customized, if we take the feedback that people gave us, and we also make sure that people read our resume, now we are in a different situation. So what I did back then to make sure that people read my resume is first of all using filters. I was filtering based on time and based on the amount of applicants. As I said before, people get a lot of job applications and a lot of applicants, and if you see 100 applicants, it wouldn't be smart to invest your time in applying for this position because there are already many people who applied for this position. Now there is one outlier here, I will mention it in a bit, but essentially what I did is filtering based on 24 hours and making sure there is less than 10 applicants. Then I would go maybe to 7 days, then maybe to 1 month, but more than that I wouldn't apply. Now as I said, there is an outlier because sometimes companies don't find the right applicant. So the job post is still up and running. And it also happened to me. I was hiring someone to my development team. I got many job applications, but I still didn't find the one I want. So I kept the job listing up and running. So there was still a chance for people to apply for the position and get hired. So I'm not saying just focus on this one, but this thing gave me the best results. Do experiment with the filters and the job listing you apply for. But once you find something that works for you best, double down on this one and stop doing the other ones. So after I applied for a job with these filters, what else I did is reaching out to the recruiter. So a lot of time you can see the recruiter who is hiring in the job post. Sometimes you can even go to the company site on LinkedIn, or you can go find out who are the recruiters who is hiring, and you can send them a message. Now, don't script me word by word of what I'm about to share with you, what to send to them. Don't do it, because I can go deep into what to send recruiters, okay? This is a whole topic that I can talk about in a different video. And by the way, if it's something you are interested watching, I will make a video about it. Comment down below and let me know. But essentially, you want to let the recruiter know that you applied, because sometimes when you apply with a job post, it can go to waste. It can go to somewhere. They might not see that. They might miss your job application. So to make sure it's not going to waste and your time is well invested, you can message the recruiter. I would say something like, hey, I don't want to waste your time. Just wanted to let you know I applied for X position. I'm qualified for the job because X, Y, and Z. I've noticed that sometimes my resume is getting lost in the job boards, so I'm also attaching my resume down below. Have a good day, thanks. Again, don't script me word by word. This is something I would send. I would do much more than what I've just said, but this is the overall guideline. Granted, not everyone is going to get back to you, but it increases your odds of getting a response. In one end, you send your job application with a job listing. On the other end, you let the recruiter know, and you played with both sides. Now, if they don't get back to you, you can follow up with them. You can see what's up. And if you send at least 10 job applications, then you send 10 messages to the recruiters of the job listings, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to get back to you. And it really depends on your message, which again, I'm not going to talk about in this video. So to summarize it all up, I got feedback for my resume. I customized my resume, so they actually want to read what I have to say. And I made sure that people read my resume. Now, if you want to get a free resume feedback from me personally, I will take a look at your resume and give you my honest feedback. After I reviewed many resumes of junior developers, you can go down below and submit your resume. Now, if you ask yourself, why would I invest my time in reviewing your resume? So essentially, I want to review as much resumes as possible, because once I see a lot of resumes, I can find problems of people like you, so I can create a better content for people like you and help more people. But this thing is only for people who are looking for a job right now. If you are actively applying for a job, submit your resume. Also, I can only review a few resumes at a time, so keep that in mind. With that said, if you want me to review your resume, go down below, submit your resume, and I will give you the review. Now, if this video gave you any value, make sure you click the subscribe button because I'm going to upload more videos like this, and also make sure you click the like button so the YouTube algorithm gets it to other people. This is the like button, by the way. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.